Hi, I'm Shelley Nordman. Welcome to Orange Puppy Studio, where it's all about dye sublimation jewelry. Today we're going to talk about precision in placing our blank shapes onto the dye sublimation print. There are some designs, like this one, where you will want to be very precise in positioning your piece so that you get a professional result. And I am going to teach you how to do that. Let's get started. Now this tutorial is all about precision placement. When you have a shape, something like this, or sometimes a circle or a square, or a diamond, and you would like to be able to very precisely position this onto the, for the transfer. And let me show you with this template what I'm talking about. If you just place it down here, wherever, you would not have any sort of precision. Let's look at how this, if you carefully place the tile, the blank on, then you can see how this sublimation print was scaled exactly to match this design. And this one is a similar, is for the same scale, but it shows a little different take on this same design. One for the front, one for the back. All right, now let's talk about what we need to make dye sublimation jewelry. We need a blank. This is Unisub FRP, which is fiber reinforced plastic, and it comes with a protective layer on it, and I will remove that. So the surface is nice and fresh for us. You need sublimation prints. So this is dye sublimation ink on dye sublimation paper made with a dye sublimation printer. And you need heat. And in this case, we are using a Sunbeam hot to trot travel iron, no steam, maximum temperature 400 degrees. And this one is great because it has a large surface area without any holes. Stay away from the jellyfish, and we need to use the heat from this section. Let's talk about some other items that we will use also. We'll use a file to shape the piece after it is sublimated, scissors to cut out the shape, a lint roller to clean the blank, heat-proof tape, and I have cut some little pieces, prepared little pieces for us. Here are some butcher paper squares to protect from the extra dye. We have a pinch bail, and I will show how to modify that for our project, and a lovely chain. I really love these easy, quick adjusting chains. You can go from 16 inches to 22 inches and exactly fit your neckline. I love these, and they're so comfortable to wear. And some flush cutters. We'll talk about these later. So to get started, let's start with this one. We don't need the template to position it. We're going to use the landmarks of this design to help us position it correctly. We have the grout lines, and we have the elements of the design, the swirls and all that will help us. So we'll place it down, and you want these to be right at the peak of these. And you can see here that this is off to the side a little bit. It doesn't line up the center of this piece with the center of the grout line from these tiles. This design is based on some tiles from Portugal. Portugal is known for its beautiful tile work. And if you look straight down on this, I hope you can see it. You can see that it is precisely the same on all of these blue and pink elements here. And the hole is lined up with the grout line. Okay, now I'm going to carefully press this down. And also look at these, at the points, the angles coming off. There are additional grout lines there, and you can confirm that the shape is coming out, the shape, the point of the shape is lining up with those grout lines evenly around. And I'm going to adjust it a tiny, tiny bit based on those grout lines. All right, holding it down, I'll take the heat-proof tape, press it onto the shape first, and then onto the paper, and I'm still holding down on the shape as I do this. I don't want it to shift at all. And a fourth one. Onto the shape, and then carefully onto the printout. Now this is all about precision today. So before we apply the heat, let's take a look and confirm that we have the precision we want. Now we'll cut out the extra paper. Leave an edge for the tape to hold on to. Over to the side. Make some room for the heat to come in. All right, and I'll take the butcher paper, and the shape always goes down and the printout goes on the top, because the dye sublimation print is what needs the heat in order to transfer. 400 degrees or the high temperature with moderate pressure for 75 seconds. Okay, and here we have it, our first peek. You can see that the color has changed. It's a good sign. And there's our transfer. All right, we're focusing on precision, and let's see how we did. And this is pretty hot, so I'm going to hold it by the edges and get rid of that sticky tape. Okay, so let's look at this. All right, whew, what a relief. It worked. So you can see at these points that this design is evenly spaced at all 4 points of the shape. All right, I think that is lovely. Let's put the design on this side. Here is our second coordinating print. And of course it could go this way on it, but which would be something like this, which is kind of interesting with the blue across there. But I designed it to be this way because I wanted to emphasize more of these floral elements. So I am going to place it and make sure you are using the blank side. Don't accidentally print twice on the same side. That's very disappointing. I've done it. Okay, so we're laying that down, and it's not based on the template. It's based on what we see here. Now we have this horizontal grout line and vertical grout line from the first print, and we can line it up with the grout lines of this print also. So first off though, I forgot, time to get some small pieces of tape set for us. It's very hard to hold this together while you're cutting off these pieces of the heat-resistant tape. So it's important to have those ready to go. Now we're set. Okay, so we look down on it and we'll make sure that the grout lines are lining up very carefully, very precisely in all 4 of these areas. And also I can see that the blue point of this angle right here barely touches the shape. So I can look at that as another landmark to confirm that it's in the right place. So depending on what you are transferring onto your shape, try to pick some landmarks that you can check on all 4 or all sides, whatever design you have, whatever shape, to confirm that you are equally positioned all around it. Okay, that looks good to me. All right, so we can check again, make sure our grout lines line up. The grout lines of this shape line up with the grout lines of the print, and that these corners that we set as a landmark are all barely kissing the edge of the shape, and they are. And there's another line also. You can see there's a little bit of a diagonal here in each of these points that can confirm that you are correctly aligned. All right, now it's time to tape it down, hold it down, place the tape on the shape, and then firmly onto the paper, holding carefully down on the shape the whole time. Oh, that shifted a tiny bit. Did you see that? All right, back in place. And press the tape onto the shape and then the paper. Press onto the shape and then the paper. All right. And that is how you get a very precise placement of your blank shape onto your die sublimation print. Cut off the extra, set it to the side, bring in the heat carefully, and the butcher paper to catch the extra dye. The shape goes down, the die sublimation print is on top. Make sure there's some extra paper around to catch the dye, and fold it over, heat 400 degrees, 75 seconds. Here we go. We remove the heat after 75 seconds, set that to the side, and now we get our first look at the transfer. We know the heat was in the right place because we have the extra dye all the way around. That's a good confirmation. And here we are. Let's take a peek. Oh, ooh, hot, but that looks really good. And take off the tape. There are heat-proof gloves, and I could wear them, but I don't. Okay. Wow. Look at the precision we were able to achieve with careful placement. Tiny bit, an equal amount of the blue on all these 4 corners, and just a tiny equal amount of blue around here. Now this blue on the outer edge is going to be removed when we shape it, which is coming up next. I need to let this cool just a minute before I start shaping it. I've let it cool for just a moment, and now it's comfortable to hold. We're going to use this nice quality nail file that has a firm plastic core, 100 grit, which is rough on this side, and 180, which is a little finer on this side. We are going to use the 180 grit to do our shaping. Now, if you look on the edge, you can see that some of the dye, when it was sublimated into a vapor, it darkened the edge here. We don't want to leave it like that. We're going to use the nail file, the sandpaper, to clean off that edge, and then I'm going to shape a nice round curve in the edge of this piece so it's comfortable to wear, comfortable to hold. And I'm just gonna get after it and get started with the 180 sandpaper. Okay, so there is the bulk of the shaping. So you clean off the extra dye on the flat surface, and then you go around the front or one side and then the other, shaping the edge, knocking off that sharp corner, the sharp edge here. Now I'm going to use the same 180 side, and I'm going to round the edge. It's a more gentle motion, and I'm looking very carefully at what I'm doing and going a little more slowly and deliberately so that we have our final piece has a consistent, smooth shape here. It is that looks very finished, finessed, and is comfortable to wear. And we'll do that to this side and this side to make it a nice, rounded, finished edge. All right. So let's take a look at what we've got here. The sides are nicely shaped, smoothed, even. And remember, on this side, we had a little bit of the blue, so I want to double check. I see a little bit of blue here, and this is sanding a little more at an angle, kind of erases that extra blue so that there isn't any blue that we coming in from where we don't want it, because the little dots of blue are not part of our design. They're extra that were just on the border. Okay, so we're shaping this and a little bit more there. And this extra shaping is a way to correct if you happen to be off just a little bit in your placement. You can kind of cover that up by sanding a little more of an angle to sand off the part of the design that you did not want to transfer. That can be our secret. No one needs to know that you did that. All right, so here is our piece ready to be turned into a necklace. Here is this side, and now the little extra blue is off, and this side, we're still good on our shape. Okay, so we're going to be using a pinch bail to attach the necklace chain. And in a pinch bail, you have these, let me dust my hands a little bit. These are the parts that pinch. This is the side that shows. So these go into the hole in the top of the necklace. This is designed for a much thicker piece than we have. You can see if we left it like this, that would not look very good. So what we're going to do is trim off these pieces to match our thickness. We're going to use these wire cutters. These are flush wire cutters. And I am going to trim off about half of each of those pegs. You see that now? Can you see that it's shorter? All right, now let's find our hole right here. We're going to open this just with finger pressure, a little bit wider. Looks like like it's going to take a bite. We want it to. We want it to bite into the necklace, the hole in the necklace, on both sides. And I'm just pinching with my fingers. And we have a really good fit. And the necklace can swing, which we want, but it's not going to fall off. And this bail is designed for the necklace to go through there. And we have our easily adjustable chain and this nice clasp. I'm going to feed this side through the bail. In it goes. And now we have a necklace that was made with precision and looks very professional, and will enjoy wearing that a long time. But I can't decide which side I like better. I love them both. Well, thank you for watching that tutorial. And here's the necklace we made. Look how beautiful and precise that is on both sides. I cannot decide which I like more. Well, I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed your time. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who might enjoy this topic as well. And in a moment, you're going to see an opportunity right here to subscribe, which that would be great. So you could always get a notice of when get to see the newest video. I'll be putting out a video about once a week with new topics. And right here in a moment is going to be a link to the newest video that I've posted. And so if your first attempts at doing precise work don't come out exactly right, just remember what Thomas Edison said. He said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always trying one more time." Bye for now.